Good morning, y'all. Are y'all ready for some? Not football. It is the Good Life Radio Show. I am your host, Eileen Carter. I am here on Relationship Tuesday. This week's conversation is unlocking your core. So on Relationship Tuesday, we have Dr. Tammy Wilborn in the studio. There she is. And we are going to be discussing, I found an article about 3 core principles of a healthy relationship. So I'm going to go over what it says, and then we're going to hear what the doctor says. We like to hear her 2 cents and her opinion, and then we're going to break down into the core of your relationship, kind of getting back to that and getting back to the core of you. So we're going to break it down into 3 segments about unlocking your core. That's what the week is about. It's Relationship Tuesday, and we are about to jump in the conversation because Lee just told me I have to. He just gave me the sign on the other side of the glass. So here we go. I am pulling Instagram online now. Oh, wait. And we're about to go. Wait, let's see. All right, now we're about to go. Now we're about to really go. All right, so we're about to start. For Instagram, who's just tuning in, we are here on Relationship Tuesday, the Good Life Radio Show. We're talking about unlocking our core this week. Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to the Good Life with me, Eileen. We are here on Relationship Tuesday, and we're here to open your mind. We are living the good life right here on WBOK 1230 AM. We are opening minds to living differently in the world with love, tolerance, compassion, and understanding for ourselves and hopefully everyone else, right? Hopefully everyone else. We do that right here weekdays at 11 a.m. We are live on Instagram. We are live on Facebook. We are on YouTube. We are everywhere you want to be. It is TGL Radio Show. TGL Radio Show. Go online right now at tglradioshow.com. You can get your t-shirts. Our t-shirts are there. You just have to click the TGL gear button. Yes, look, Lee's all excited. Our t-shirts are there. He's going to do it now. I know he's trying to turn down the air. Y'all, he's trying to burn me up in this studio. He's like, once you get on air and you can't move, he's like, I'm going to go change the air. He wrong for that. He wrong for that. But nonetheless, I do love Lee. That's my producer. But changing the core, he's going to heat it up in here. Anyway, back to the show. We are here on Relationship Tuesday. I have Dr. Tammy Wilborn. You're all he's peeking in the side, trying to be funny. We have Dr. Tammy Wilborn in the studio with us. Dr. Wilborn, I have so many people. I actually had someone yesterday who was sending me messages on social media asking how they can get in contact with you and Henry. So please give us your information so they can contact you.
Good morning, everybody. So you can find me in a couple of different ways. You can find me on the web at www.wilbornclinicalservices.com, or you can call me at 504-509-3995. That's 504-509-3995. Or you can email me at info@wilbornclinicalservices.com.
Pick one.
Pick one.
Pick one. Anyone. She's everywhere you want to be. There's Wilborn Clinical Services, and she's absolutely amazing. If I could have her as my counselor, I would, but she told me I can't because I'm her friend. So I was like, oh, that kind of sucks.
No.
But it's okay. I kind of get it. I kind of get it, secondhand through the show. So I kind of get the best of both worlds. So I absolutely love her. She's an amazing she does amazing things, and if you need her services, please reach out because that is the good life. Now, if you want to follow us on all of our social media platforms, that is at tglradioshow.com. If you would like us to have our show at your event, if you would like us to have our show at your establishment, you have a business, you have a restaurant, we come on right before lunchtime, we always like to taste food, y'all. I don't mind tasting a cool appetizer or whatever it is. Whatever you're famous for, we would love to taste it. And if you would like to host us, you can go online as well, tglradioshow.com. We have our rates and packages right there. But if you want to create something, send us an email, Eileen, EILEEN, at tglradioshow.com. That is Eileen at tglradioshow.com. Give us a call, 504-400-7127, 504-400-7127. Why? Because it's a good life. Now we're going to jump into the conversation today because y'all know I take a theme and we like spread it out over the whole week. So this week's theme is unlocking your core. Unlocking your core. So on Monday, I broke down how we're going to unlock it in different aspects. But today is Relationship Tuesday. So this is a whole different dynamic. Some people say this is their favorite show. I wonder why. Because we're all in relationships. We all have some type of issue at some point in time. It's like the relationship never goes away. It's always a work in progress. Sometimes you lose your core. Sometimes you're more in touch with your core. Sometimes you can't even find it. It's under all the the burdens of life per se. But I have Dr. Wilborn in the studio, and I think Henry's going to be coming in a little bit later. But I wanted to kind of break it down into 3 segments this morning because I really wanted to kind of delve into these issues. So the first segment is going to be, I found this article on the 3 core principles of a healthy relationship. So this is what they say. I'm going to kind of break it down, but obviously we want to know what you say because you are our guide. We listen to you each and every Tuesday right here on WBOK and the Good Life Radio Show. So we want to know what you have to say. And then the second segment will be about our relationships, the core of our relationships. Have y'all ever been in a relationship and you were like, oh, I miss that person they used to be, or you thought that oh, if we could just get back to where we were, the core of our relationship, if we could just, hold on to that moment when we felt like, you had a connection, you were meeting each other at the core. I know y'all nodding your heads out there because, we've all been in that situation. Now, is that the core of who they really were, or were you trying to get back to, or can you get back to something that once I don't know, we're going to ask her in the second segment. And last but not least, we're going to talk about getting back to the core of who we are, unlocking ourselves. And how do we do that? How do we live our authentic selves? Because if you can't live your authentic self, going back to the relationship, how can you be in a relationship going back to having a healthy relationship? So, of course, all of that merges together. So we're going to jump in real quick, and I'm going to ask her about the 3 core principles of healthy relationship. And I found this on nicknotice.com. So we'll see. The first one was freedom and acceptance. And I think I've heard you talk about this one. So I think, look, you're nodding your head over there. Look, I'm trying to get you in the picture. So, yeah, we're live on Instagram and Facebook. I need her in the picture. She sometimes hides behind the mic, but she's too beautiful to do that. So freedom and acceptance. They say that means that both partners should be able to relax without worrying that the other will judge them for their thoughts or actions. You should never need to hide part of yourself to be accepted by your partner. They say, of course, it doesn't mean that your partner has to approve of everything that you do. If you're making a bad decision, they should tell you. They should let you know. Even when you disagree, you should still respect each other's opinions. If your partner belittles you or your beliefs or doesn't treat you like an equal, then that is the serious sign of an unhealthy relationship. So what about freedom and acceptance as a core value for a relationship? What are your thoughts, Dr. Wilborn?
Yes, I think that that's definitely a value that is, those 2 ideas are foundational values in a relationship. I think, a lot of times, and I know we'll get to this in a minute, oftentimes when we show up into relationships, we show up as this representative of ourselves, not, this mask of ourselves,
right.
This ideal person that we want to be, or this, this ideal that we want the other person to be.
Right.
And so oftentimes we're not connecting in really genuine and authentic ways. And so as the relationship evolves over time, the real self kind of emerges, and the other person's like, well, who's this person?
Who's that? I never met them before.
And so you have all of this conflict versus someone who is showing up and saying at the outset, knowing I am enough. Right?
That's one of our sayings here. It's been my mantra ever since you said it. I was like, I like that. I'm going to stick with it.
For you to be able to show up in that way and say I am enough, and the other person to show up and say I am enough, I have my faults, I have my strengths, and at the same time, I'm still good, I'm enough with all of that, allows, I think, more acceptance when you're when you're genuine and you are acknowledging that I'm not perfect.
Right.
I'm good as I am, flawed as I am. Yeah.
And I think it's really one of those things that we have to kind of remind ourselves every now and then. Because I'm reading here and it said you should never need to hide part of yourself to be accepted by your partner. How many of us may be walking on eggshells? And I don't mean like, you overspent, or you went over the budget, or you got some concert tickets or whatever. I mean like an authentic part of who you are. This is who I am. And you're hiding that from your partner because you're like, I don't know if they'll accept me if I show them who I am.
Yeah, I mean, because a lot of times those things that we hide from our partners or even try to hide from other people are things that we're ashamed about. Those are the things that bring us shame, that when we look in the mirror, we're like, oh, I don't like that person, or I don't like that thing that I've done. But if you can be honest about that and really invite that person to have a conversation. I'll share this really quick. I can remember right before I got married, my husband and I did premarital counseling, and so one of the assignments that he and I had to do is we had to spend a weekend sharing those things about ourselves that maybe nobody else knew, or that we were ashamed of or embarrassed for, or embarrassed about. And so both of us did that, and we were kind of like, "That's what you were worried about,
right?
That's
really?
That's the thing that you were concerned about." But from there, I think it set the stage for that freedom and acceptance, because it was like once he and I were able to disclose those things that had kept us ashamed in other relationships, we were able to be free in our relationship and really be able to accept each other as we are.
That's an amazing story. You know what? I'd like to throw that out there for couples. Take this weekend coming up and share those things.
Yeah.
Share those things, drop the bags, let it go, and then, have that full acceptance. Imagine how that feels in a relationship, knowing that you're fully accepted by the other person and, like, nobody else can tell you anything because they got me.
Exactly.
That's what I want. You know what I'm saying? Like, isn't that whatever? I'm like, isn't that what we all want?
I think
kind
so.
Of,
I think so.
Number 2, I'm going to jump into these. Meaningful lives outside the relationship. They said it's very important. Look, you're nodding your head, so obviously you're in support of these. One of the core foundations for a relationship is making sure that you have a meaningful life outside of the relationship. They said in a healthy relationship, both parties have fulfilling lives outside of their own relationship and maintain close friendships with other people other than their partner. They support each other to pursue those important parts of life that are outside of the relationship.
Yeah. I definitely agree with that. I mean, oftentimes when people talk about relationships, especially when they're talking about marriages, they talk about two people coming together as one. And in a lot of ways, that's true. There is a sense of unity in decision making and goals and so on and so forth. But what that doesn't mean is that you lose yourself in that relationship. The things that you value.
You lose your core.
You lose your core.
Right.
You lose your values. You lose your sense of those things that bring you joy. So it's very important for you to not only have a unifying body in a relationship, but also to know who you are outside of that. Who are you? What are the things that you dream about? What are the things that you value, separate and apart from your partner? It's okay. It's okay to have a life.
How many of us forget those things when we are
easily
in relationships? I'm just saying, maybe this is that wake-up call to remind you to start taking care of yourself, because if you don't, you're going to start to kind of, I'm trying to find a good word for it. You're gonna, I don't want to say not regretful, but resent your partner.
Yeah, I mean, you look around,
and they may not even know it. Okay. And last but not least, the third one for one of the core for having a meaningful relationship was shared selflessness. Both partners should make it their goal for one another to be happy and fulfilled, not to have their partner make them happy and fulfilled. Wait, I'm going to repeat that. Both partners should make it their goal for one another to be happy and fulfilled as they are, as one person, not to have their partner make them happy and fulfilled. And they said this is one of the most important points, that they are happy and fulfilled as they are themselves.
The individual.
Yes.
Absolutely, because a lot of times you'll see people that say, I need someone to make me happy, right? Without realizing that the core of happiness resides within you.
Yes.
And so when that person leaves, or when that person is not performing happiness for you, then oftentimes discontent sets in, resentment, frustration, guilt, because you're looking for something in someone else that you should be able to do for yourself first. And so when you're able to do that, the relationship can be more fair love, that I love, freedom, and that whole notion of acceptance, because you have to be able to bring that to the relationship. Looking for that in somebody else leads to dependency.
And if you're looking for it in someone else, have you seen this, where they take it out on that person?
When the other person isn't making them happy?
Right.
Yes. I see that. I see resentment, like I said. I see frustration. Because a lot of times, again, and here's the thing, a lot of us are taught that happiness is external to us. And so, right?
Yeah.
We're taught that, I need some
ice cream gonna make me feel better.
Make me feel better. It's gonna make me happy, without realizing that you need to be able to have that for yourself.
Right. If I have a family, I'm gonna feel better. If I have a child, I'm gonna feel better.
Yeah.
If I go finish and get this degree, I'm gonna feel better. And you get it, and you're like, I don't feel better.
Yeah.
Put all these years in it, I don't feel better.
Exactly. It keeps you kind of on the hamster wheel of happiness, right? You're constantly chasing happiness.
About to say that you're always chasing something.
Yeah, without realizing that
it's inside of you.
You have it inside of you. Yeah.
Wow. Well, this is The Good Life, y'all. We are here on Relationship Tuesday, and we are discussing unlocking your core. We have Dr. Tammy Wilborn in the studio with us. She is here every Tuesday. Make sure you tune in. You can follow her. How can they follow you?
Everywhere.
Right? Everywhere you want to be.
Facebook, Wilborn Clinical Services. I'm online, wilbornclinicalservices.com. You can call me, 504-509-3995.
We are going to take a quick break. I am your host, Eileen, but we are unlocking our core this week. And on Relationship Tuesday, we were getting into some fundamental core values of a relationship. But when we get back, we're going to talk about the core of your specific relationship. Sometimes you're like, I think after the honeymoon phase, you're like, oh, why can't we get back to the core of things? Why can't we get back to, who you thought they were? Or is that who they were? Is it not who they were? Are you really finding out who the real core of them is at this point in time? We shall see. We have the doctor in the studio with us. She's going to break it down, and we are going to open our minds. Stay tuned. It's Eileen. We'll be right back. I am so excited. And actually, you know what? Listening to past shows, I have learned that I don't always turn the volume down for you all. So I'm making sure that I do that for each and every show. Because I'm like listening through the break, and I was like, that sucks. Like I'm talking and y'all listen to commercials. So my bad. I apologize. I will be much better about that so that y'all can hear what I'm saying, I'm multitasking here, so I need y'all to work with me. But I really ask that you all start following me on YouTube. We are trying to grow the channel, and it really is, I didn't realize it, but YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world. So, right. So, that's one of the places we want to be. And so what I'm going to be doing is you all can watch the entire shows here as well, but we're going to break down the segments as well. Some people just want to come in and catch one segment or the other, so we're going to make those options available to you. I listened to the feedback, and I wanted to let you know that we're going to break them down as well. So they'll be in, 15 or 12 to 15 minute segments, depending on, how excited we got and if Lee let us go over. But in a general time frame, about 15-minute segments, as well as you can watch the full show together. So, yeah, trying to, listen to y'all, see what you like and what you don't like. Also, I'd appreciate if you're interested, go support us, buy a t-shirt. They're online right now at tglradioshow.com. There are like 13 options. I wanted to give y'all the options. I talk a lot, and I say I do. I mean, that's what it's about. I talk a lot, and so a lot of my one-liners that I say that are near and dear to my heart. And it's crazy because I really couldn't even narrow them down because there's so many more that I wanted to put on there. But I started with, at first I was going to start with 5, and it just wasn't enough. I have issues. Maybe I have a hoarding issue. I don't know. But so we were able to bring it down to 12 sayings, and then the Good Life logo, which actually is a little bit more than the logo. It's the logo and then has the Good Life Radio Show at TGL Radio Show. So that's going to be our standard. I had a lot of people who gave their feedback, and we really enjoyed it. You'll see me wear the shirts. I'm actually waiting. They're going to give me a whole line, so I'm going to be wearing them each and every day. I'm like, why should I wear other people's stuff? I'm trying to grow my own brand. I'm wearing my own brand every day. So that's what we'll have coming up. So go online. Some of my favorite words, she said, I am enough. We do have a t-shirt that says I am enough. They'll all have the logo right at the top and then the saying that'll go down the shirt. And we also have aprons. So if you would like to cook, you're in the kitchen, you want to give somebody a holiday present, I think the Good Life Radio Show apron is a wonderful idea as a present. So we have I Am Enough. We have Freedom on Freedom Friday. We have Freedom. We have Ask, Believe, Receive. it's one of my sayings. What else? We have open your mind. Obviously, that's my tagline. Can't work without that. We have love, tolerance, compassion, understanding. So our core values. We have a seer. I am prophetic, and so therefore I figured I don't walk in it as much publicly as I've had my bishop encourage me to do. So I figured if I put it on a shirt, you'd kind of be like, well, you know what? Maybe there's something to it. So there is something to it. So I have a seer shirt. What else do I have? I have pray, begin again, because I absolutely believe that. We all fall short. We all fall down. We all have those moments where, you just get tired, you get worn out. Say a prayer, begin again. God forgives us. We need to start forgiving ourselves. Too often, we're the ones holding us back. He's like, create it in your mind. Give me something to work on. Take the step. Write the contract. Write the proposal. And then I'm going to work my magic. But I can't work my magic until you do something, until you act. So faith without works is what? Dead. So we need to start acting and moving forward. And this isn't just something I'm telling you. It's something for myself. And so I'm seeing it manifest in my life. And so I know it'll work for you. We're all on this journey.
Yes.
Right? Let's see. What else did I have? I have a How to Fall in Love shirt. I love it. Do y'all know how to fall in love? Y'all know? How to fall in love. When someone shows you their soul, show yours too. Oh, isn't that sweet? I have a shirt. Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome back to The Good Life with me, Eileen. We are here on Relationship Tuesday, and we're here to open your mind. We are living the good life right here on WBOK 1230 AM. We are opening minds to living differently in the world with love, tolerance, compassion, and understanding for ourselves and hopefully everyone else. We do that right here weekdays at 11 a.m. Make sure you tune in. You never have to miss a show. Why? Because yes, we're live at 11 a.m., but we have a podcast on Spreaker.com. You can actually go on TGLradioshow.com. You can hit podcast and you can always listen to a show. You can hit watch now. You can watch our videos right there on YouTube. You can hit the TGL gear button. Did y'all hear me? Yes, we have gear. We have t-shirts and aprons. We're going to start there. We're going to branch out because, in New Orleans, we like to cook. I figured y'all should cook in the good life. So while we were during the break, I was telling our listening audience on Facebook and Instagram a little bit about what our options were because we have, I have an issue. We have 13 different options, y'all. And what I love is I partnered up with CAD Printing. And so you basically choose the logo that you want, and then you can put it on whatever item that you want. And that's how it works. So I thought it was really cool. And we're going to be branching out to new and other fun items. But we're going to start with our t-shirts because I just like them. And they'll have Open Your Mind. They have Ask, Believe, Receive. They have Pray, Begin Again. They have Freedom. They have, I told her one of my favorites was How to Fall in Love. How do you fall in love? It's Relationship Tuesday. How do you fall in love? When someone shows you their soul, show yours too. An act of faith and an act of surrender. Open your mind, get back to your core. See how I threw that all in? And you can do all of this at tglradioshow.com. We are on the web now. I'm really excited. So go check out our website. It is growing. The only thing I don't have from everybody is I know y'all mad at me. All my co-hosts. I need to get their pictures and everything up. But mine's up there. But anyway, the Meet Us button. Everything's up there except that. Well, I am, but y'all aren't. I'm going to get y'all's information. So anyway, make sure you go there. We are growing. And we have, if you would like to join us, I'm actually working on some new sponsorships and some new people joining us. I'm really excited. If you would like to be a part of the good life, if you would like to grow with the movement, you can go on tglradioshow.com as well, or you can call us at 504-400-7127, or you can email me, Eileen, spell my name right, EILEEN at tglradioshow.com. See that branding? Everything. Yeah. And I put something up today. I said, the goal is not to wear other people's brands. The goal is to become one. So join the movement because that's exactly what we're doing right here. And it's starting in New Orleans, your backyard. But let's jump back into the conversation, which was what? Our core. our core values. We talked a little bit about, the core values of a relationship in the first segment. This segment is going to be about, the core of your relationship, or what is it, or what did you think it was? How you've been in a relationship for a little while, and I have done this myself, so this is firsthand experience. I'm about to ask the doctor to help me. Tammy, we've been in a relationship maybe 6 months, a year, maybe 3 years, maybe it's 5 years, maybe it's 10, wherever it is, and you're like, you know what? We need to get back to the core of who we were. We used to go out together. We used to go to the movies. We used to spend time together. Or, you used to be so fun. You're not even fun anymore. You used to, whatever it is, but everything started as you used to. Y'all know, you used to cook. You know what I'm saying? You used to do whatever it may be. But we're missing those core things that made you fall in love with that person. How do we get back to those things? And sometimes was that actually the person? Or was it that they're representative? Like I say, they put up a mask, and then you're like, wait, I got the okie doke. Like, you threw, like, what's going on? Help me. You're nodding your head. Help me.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's interesting because the question that came up for me as you were saying that was, was that core or was that courting?
Ooh.
When we court, we may not always show up with our core, because we're trying to woo, we're trying to win over that person. And so the representative shows up, and, if we're doing all of these things because we're courting, we want we want to win you over.
Yes.
And it may not necessarily represent who we are at our core. And so once the relationship kind of evolves over time, again, we kind of go back to where we were earlier, you start to see that shift happen because there's no longer the need to court you anymore. Now I have you. And so the question becomes, well, what happened to the thing you used to do? Or what happened to the person you used to be? Maybe that person wasn't that person because they were trying to court you.
Woo, wait, Tammy, you just dropped the bomb, because so many of us are in this situation, or have been, male or female, where, they were in the courting period, or they want to be the perfect, wife, or, I cook, I clean, I take care of the kids, I can do all this stuff, and then you're like, wait, but you don't do any of that. Like, you had takeout, and it was in a pot. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then the guy, like, you think they have it all together. You're like, I'm not dating for potential anymore. You think they have it all together, and you settle down. You're like, wait, you don't have anything together. Or, like, your whole life was a facade. Like, what is going on, and how do we bypass these traps, honestly? And how do we, number one, how do we bypass the traps? And number two, if we are in a relationship and we want to kind of just get back to those things that, that made us fall in love with each other, how do we do that? So it's a double-edged question for you.
Yeah, well, I mean, I always kind of go back to, and I keep saying this because I typed this in yesterday when I was listening to you yesterday, is that core values are foundational. For me, core values go back to this term I love to say, and that's non-negotiables. Right? I'm going to keep saying that because I want people to get it. If you can negotiate it, it's not a core value. Okay? And so oftentimes I think what happens is we as individual people, before we even enter in a relationship, we're talking about intimate relationships, but it could be a work relationship or whatever kind of relationship. We have not sat down and really took the time to think about what are those non-negotiable core values that at the very center of who I am, I need to absolutely non-negotiably have to be free in this relationship, to be content, whatever the case is. And so oftentimes we enter into these courtships without having explored the core, without having sat down with, this is what I need. I need someone who is blah, 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 blah. For me, it was hard worker. This person had to love God. This person had to love my child. This person had to have a sense of humor. This person had to have, to be attractive to me. Those were things that he didn't have to look like Will Smith.
I know, and I'm glad that you said that, because, people ask you that, and you're like, no, I want them to be attractive to me. I don't care if you like them. I want them to be attractive to me.
To me.
And so many times you become attracted to someone intellectually and fall in love. And it doesn't, of course, you care, but that isn't, even one of the top, in the top of the list, I should say.
Yeah. And so having done that exploration, so again, I'm going to use myself because I think sometimes it's just easier to insert myself into these teachable moments. Once I entered into the relationship, the courtship,
Mm-hmm.
the relationship, I had my core values already figured out. And so it became easier for me to see and discern, yes, this is the person I want to be with, because I could check off, yep, hard worker, yep, love my child, yep, love God, yep, so on and so forth. And then once we entered into the relationship and decided to take a long term and we ended up getting married, those core values became benchmarks for me to look at and go, is this person still that person? Yep, he's still that person. Yes, he's still doing these different things. And even if there was a sense of veering off, it created an opportunity for us to have a conversation, because I knew at his core, he was still those things. And so even if he wasn't showing up in the most ideal way, it wasn't, oh, well, let me just get rid of him because he's not doing A, B, and C, but rather he's still at the core this person that I needed him to be for me. And so rather than see him as disposable, let me have a conversation with him about what's happening that's now causing you to do something different. Or what is it about me that I'm not showing up in the way that you need, that I used to. And so how do I make the adjustment to be the person that you marry? Right. So I go back to, what are the non-negotiables that you enter into the relationship with? What are those core values? Again, as I say, if you can do without, it's not a core value, right? It's not a non-negotiable. If it's something, oh, well, he don't have to be, or she doesn't have to be, and that's okay. It doesn't, but be clear about that.
Right.
Go ahead.
No, I'm saying, because when you're gray on those, the other person is gray on those.
Yes. And they can't, I had this conversation, I was in session having this conversation with a client. We make a lot of assumptions about what people should know. Oh, well, he should know better. She should know not to do this.
They don't
know.
They don't know.
They are not mind readers.
At the core, we are not mind readers.
At the core, we are not mind readers. So we do ourselves a disservice when we assume what people should know. The other thing is, we also do the other folks a disservice when we're not honest about what it is that we want. The freedom, going back to that value, the freedom and the acceptance comes with being honest about what you value and being willing to lose that person from the beginning. We don't want to be alone. Oh, if I tell him what I really think, or if I tell her what I really believe, she might leave me. Right. Would you rather that exit at the beginning, or would you rather that exit 20 years later?
Oh, that is so important. That is so important. I was having these conversations recently, and someone was asking me very direct questions, and I was like, at first I was like, hold up, but then I was like, wait, this is refreshing. I was like, this is refreshing because I know where you are. And for you to be able, and for you to want to know these questions at this point in time, it shows a level of maturity that I hadn't seen before. So I was like, you know what? You know who you are at your core, which is different. And, me stepping up and showing who I am at my core is a foundation that you can build on.
Yeah, it is, because it gives you the freedom to choose. It gives you the freedom to choose and accept, or it gives you the freedom to not accept. But when you're not,
going back to what we talked about at the beginning, freedom and acceptance.
I'm tying those pieces in because I agree with that. I agree that freedom comes with choice, and choice comes with honest discussion and conversations about, this is who I am. I was looking at Facebook, and somebody posted a meme that says I am, and the words, those I am is composed of a bunch of different things. I am loyal, I am valuable, I am worthy, I am tender. Those,
send me that. We're gonna post that after.
Will. But that ability to fill in the blank of I am creates opportunity to look at what your core values are. And I would encourage people to do that as an activity. I am, and fill in the blank. For me, I am integrous. I am a mother. I am a truth seeker. I am a servant. I am wise. I can answer those questions for myself. A lot of people, you ask them, say, fill in the blank, they don't know, because they haven't done the work of the self-exploration, and they're not free to do it because they're afraid to find what they might see.
Wow. I need you to drop that bomb one more time. They're afraid to find what they might see.
A lot of people are afraid to dig underneath and get to that core, because the core is often protected by layers of a bunch of different things, right? Situations, experiences create layers
Upon layers.
Upon layers that become armor to protect the core, right?
Because yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, in order for us to get to that, we got to peel the layers back.
But we think that protection is helping us.
We do, but it's not.
Wait, say that one more thing.
The protection isn't helping us because it keeps us from being free, one, right?
Wow.
To see ourselves as we are and to live freely as we are. It's hard for us to be able to say I am when you're not able to look at those things that you might not be willing to accept, but they are those things. That's who you are.
And it's funny because it goes back to the second core value that was in the first segment. We talked about freedom and acceptance, then the meaningful lives outside the relationship. You can't have a meaningful life outside the relationship if you're having a protection measure and you're not being who you are.
You can't have a meaningful life outside of a relationship if you don't see your life as meaningful.
Wow.
And purposeful. And you do that, you find that sense of meaning and purpose when you dig in, pull back the layers and begin to answer, fill in the statement, the blank of I am.
Well, it's funny that you say that because we have to take a quick break, and guess what the last segment is about? Unlocking your specific core. We talked about 3 core values in the relationship. We talked about the specific core of your relationship. And now we're going to talk about getting to your core. You know, yes, there are other people in our lives and we do have to deal with them, but we have to take care of ourselves so that we can start exuding that love. Because if we don't love ourselves, and I don't mean that selfish love. People like, I don't mean that. I mean, when you're able to take care of yourself and you are loved from inside you, that's what you deliver to each and every person. That's how we live the good life. That's how we grow. So we're going to get back into that. I have Dr. Tammy Wilborn in the studio with us. I am not going to let her leave because she is spitting all the knowledge this morning, and we need it. We really do. So we're going to walk into our freedom with love, tolerance, compassion, and understanding. So we're going to take a quick break. Do not turn your dial. Do not turn away. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. We are on YouTube. Open your mind. We'll be right back. Hey y'all, see, I remembered. I remembered to not leave y'all on commercial. I'm sorry, I know I had done that. I listened to a couple past shows and I was like, oh my gosh, I've been leaving them on commercial sometimes. So I will be much better about it. My bad, I promise. And look, I have new headphones. These are mine, but I feel like I have a neck brace on when I put them on. I'm like, I can't breathe. Yeah, it's a little bit restrictive. But I really appreciate each and every one of you watching the show. We're going to break it down in segments, and that's how I'm going to, of course, you can watch the entire show, but I'm going to break it down in segments and post them on YouTube as well so that they are a little bit easier to share. So you'll have the full version or the breakdown. I love the feedback from the listeners, so I just wanted to let y'all know that I am listening and I'm following up with you. And if you want to join the Good Life Radio Show, wear a t-shirt, spread the message, please go on tglradioshow.com. That is tglradioshow.com. I need y'all. We have t-shirts, we have aprons, we have all kind of fun stuff. We have all kind of fun sayings. It's funny because forever I have wanted a t-shirt line with just positive quotes because I just feel like they help me, move through the day, whatever the mantra is. Dr. Wilborn had given us I Am Enough the other week, and it's something that actually I had spoken about before, but you reminded me of. And with this week being unlocking your core, part of your core, whether we know it or not, if you're familiar with your chakra system, is your solar plexus, and that's in the middle, your core. So we'll get into a little bit of that in tomorrow. But part of the solar plexus is your self-confidence. And when there's blockages or unbalance in your body, how that's one of the areas that really, your digestive system, it tells you, we'll get into that tomorrow, but one of the things to help break it is I am enough. Mm-hmm. So it was just perfect how it all worked together. But it is on a shirt, so go on the Good Life Radio Show, TGLradioshow.com, and click under TGL Gear and purchase your shirt today, and then we'll mail it out to you, and then you can look like me. I don't have one on today, but I will. I'm getting one of each one so I can have my own little wardrobe. I was like, if I'm creating a brand, I shouldn't wear your stuff. I should wear my own, right?
Exactly.
So that's what it's all about. And I appreciate if y'all would share. There are more people in the world with a telephone, a smartphone, than a toothbrush. So please share the show. If you like it, share it on Insta. I know, isn't that concerning? It is. It's crazy, but true. It is a very true fact. You know why? Because some people have multiple. And I have 2 phones and an iPad. My son has a phone and 2 iPads because he has one that, I gave him, and then one when he went to school. And so, I mean, we all just have all this technology, so they're literally, and we're just 2 people. So imagine, multiply that. Mm-hmm. So there are more people in the world with smartphones than toothbrushes. Sad but true. Sad but true. First world problems. I just came back from Puerto Rico last week, and you can actually follow us on any of our social media platforms. There is a link to the foundation that is still accepting donations, monetary and products and supplies. I know the city of New Orleans has gotten involved. Senator Karen Carter Peterson and Mr. Bill Hammack, who is a native New Orleans businessman, have gotten together and kind of spearheaded it. They made one trip over there. They've gotten so many donations that they're going to go back. But obviously gas is expensive. They're worked out a situation to be able to get it for cost, which is such a blessing. But it takes money to fly it over there, and there's parts of the island that really have not gotten any aid, and especially a lot of the people in the mountains. It's crazy. And we lived through Katrina, and to be perfectly honest, to find a silver lining, if there was one, the blessing we had was that we could get in our car and drive away. Mm-hmm. Whether it be a 10-hour journey, a 15-hour journey, a 20-hour journey, whatever it was long. But the point is, we could get in a car and drive away. They don't even have that option. Like, the only way out is by plane. And so obviously there's long waits for airplane rides, and there are people who are really dying, and the number that they give you with the people who died or perished due to the storm, it's low because they're talking about that one moment in time. The people who have perished since then is a much larger number, but you know how you could always play numbers to work to your benefit. So they're doing a little number finagling, and I want us to pay attention to that so that we don't forget our fellow American citizens. We are just on the mainland. They are, on an island. So we really need to make sure that we don't forget. So nonetheless, you can go to any of my social media platforms, and all of the pictures of Puerto Rico, there's a link under there to donate. And 100% of the proceeds are going to the effort for the citizens of Puerto Rico, of Ponce, the southern region, which really hasn't gotten a lot of aid yet. Because everything is at Puerto Rico. Got a little geography lesson. Everything is kind of bottlenecked trying to get out. So we're jumping back in the show. Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to The Good Life with me, Eileen. We are here on Relationship Tuesday, and we're here to open your mind. We are living the good life right here on WBOK 1230 AM. We are opening minds to living differently in the world with love, compassion, tolerance, and understanding for ourselves and hopefully everyone else. We do that right here weekdays at 11 a.m. Make sure you tune in. You can always catch us live here, Instagram, Facebook. We're always live, but you never have to miss a show. Why? You can go on tglradioshow.com and find everything that you want. We have our podcast there. We have our live videos there. We have our gear there. Yes, I said gear. Why? Because you can get your Good Life Radio t-shirts. You can get your Good Life Radio Show aprons. It's Christmas time. It's birthdays, whatever it is. It's that time you need a gift. Make it the good life. I think, join the movement. If you are, you want a t-shirt and then you're like, you know what? I want my commercials on there too. There's a way to do that as well. It's one-stop shopping right on tglradioshow.com. So do it right now. You don't have to miss it. Why? Because there's more people in the world with a smartphone than a toothbrush. We actually just had that conversation off air. But it is true. But we're going to jump back into our core because we have Dr. Tammy Wilborn of Wilborn Clinical Services in the studio with us. You can find her at wilbornclinicalservices.com. WilbornClinicalServices.com. Make sure you go there. I can't see her because she's my friend. That's what she told me. But, I like to get all the good information out of here. So you all are very lucky to have her in the studio each and every Tuesday. And if you enjoy the show, please share, share, share. It is the most underutilized button. Please share. So we have been talking about unlocking our core. We've been talking about it. We're going to talk about it all week in different aspects. So I'm really glad to have you here because we talked about it, our core in the relationships, the actual relationship. But I want to get to us. I really want to get to unlocking who we are in our core. And I'm going to give you a real life situation. I had been married. At that point, it had been 3 years when we were divorcing. After Katrina, obviously my husband, I had my son, and he had a second son as well. So it was like a family of 4. When I got divorced, I was like, what makes me happy? Somebody asked me that, and I was like, that is a great question. I have absolutely no idea. And it was more like, what do you like to do? And I was like, what do I like to do? Aiden at that point was like 2, so I had a baby, and I'm like, and his son was, kind of in the mid years, and so. 10. And so I'm like 2 and 10. And then I'm like, I don't know. And then working and by the time I took care of them and fed them and everything, washed clothes or whatever, I'm like, I'm tired. I don't even know what I enjoy doing. I had literally lost the core of who I was. And I had to take time and be like, just like you said with that I am. Who am I? What do I enjoy doing? I'm sad to say it was that bad. I didn't even know what I enjoyed doing. I had to get back to the basics. I was like, you know what? I like to read. For all of y'all who watch me, y'all know I like to read. But I was like, I like to read. And so I got back into that. And Aiden and my favorite place was in the bookstore all the time. But, we really lose the core of who we are in our relationships so often. And so if y'all are listening, I really, want to encourage you to not let that happen. And I'm going to let Dr. Wilborn take over from here and tell us why we shouldn't let it happen, what we need to do with it if it happens, and how we can take care of ourselves and get back to that authentic place.
Yeah.
Please tell me. Tell me.
It definitely happens. Because things happen, we grow, situations happen, relationships come and go. And so a lot of times we do find ourselves in what I like to call this existential crisis of asking that question, who am I? What am I? What do I like? What are those things that I enjoy?
Clueless.
But what's interesting about crisis is that the word crisis itself means both danger and opportunity.
I did not know that.
Yes, that at the root of crisis, it's danger and opportunity. And so when we think about our lives as various experiences of existential crises, what that means is that we are confronted with these dangerous moments, and sometimes there's maybe actual danger or perceived danger, but these moments where we're kind of at a crossroad. And we have to decide, am I going to allow this experience to continue to cause me to lose myself, or am I going to seize this as an opportunity for me to define who I am, or maybe reclaim who I am if I've lost that? Yeah. And so I was thinking about this as I was mentally sort of preparing, or at least thinking about the show today. I remember a defining moment for me shifting to being able to answer the question of who I am was this moment that I call that mirror moment.
Wow. Oh, I like that mirror moment.
It was I can recall this moment. My child was probably 8 or so at that time, and I was a single mother, and I remember I was getting ready to go somewhere. And how many of us get ready and we look in the mirror, but we don't really look at ourselves? Well, the mirror moment was I had this moment where I could actually see myself, my face, behind my face.
Really?
Where I could see, because the person that was looking back at me in the mirror was not the person that was behind the face.
Wow.
The person that was looking back at me in the mirror was this person that was, I would say, fake, putting on a lot of masks to try to show up in the world as, happy and determined and all this other stuff. But the person behind that face was a scared little girl, somebody who had lived her life in a lot of fear and a lot of disappointment, and who was, quite frankly, not happy. I was not happy. And that moment caused a breakdown in the mirror. I had that mirror moment where I had a breakdown, and it led to tears, and it led to this question of, if you don't like the person that you're looking back at, what are you going to do to change that? What are you going to do to become the person that the person behind the mirror, the face in this mirror, reflects the reflection in the mirror?
And I'm glad you said that. I'm going to just interject really quickly, because there are listeners out there who, you know, guys like, why do women put on that makeup? Sometimes we put on the makeup to make ourselves feel better. I don't feel well physically. My self-confidence is low today. I had a terrible week. I have to go deal with my boss. My children aren't listening, and I am just going to put on a touch of makeup to make me feel better. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to fake it till I make it. And you know, the guys do the same thing. I'm going to put on this suit. Or y'all go to the barber. Y'all go to the barber, y'all get a fresh fade. I may not feel good, but I'm going to get a fresh fade, and I'm going to, you know, will it. Or I'm going to put on this watch that I love. I'm going to put on, you know, whatever it is for you. I'm going to put on a handkerchief this morning. You know, whatever. Give yourself a little oomph to make you feel better. And we do these things as, you know, and we're like putting icing on the cake. But, you know, it's just like when you said you make that cake and it has all this nasty stuff in it, but you put icing on it and it looks all sweet and pretty on the outside, but you cut it on the inside and you're like, what is this? And you're talking about that mirror moment. And I'm like, you know, we've all had that.
Yes.
We've all had that.
And it's, I mean,
or need to have it.
Yeah.
You know, we need to have it, I should say.
Many of us don't have it. We need to have that moment where we really, really dig in and start to peel back. Why do I do that? You know, for guys, you mentioned all the different ways that they show up in terms of masking. So they do that with that clothes, and they do it with women, and they do it with cars, and they do it with jobs, and they do it with competition, and, you know, sometimes they do it with addictions. And women, we do it in all the ways that you described. And so I think it's important for us to really take the time. And for some people, it's hard to do it on your own. So going see a counselor sometimes is helpful to.
And I opened up and told the listeners that, you know, Tammy said I couldn't see her. I told her I was sad about it, but nonetheless, you know, she referred me to someone, and I'm absolutely blessed. I'm so excited about the process, and it has really, you know, opened my mind to living differently in the world. But each and every one of you have the opportunity to speak to her. She is absolutely amazing, and I encourage each and every one of you that if you're ready to step out, you know, into counseling, which I believe all of us need. I don't even think it's a question. I think it's a need. You know, definitely look into Wilborn Clinical Services. Go ahead, Tammy. I'm sorry.
I don't know. Well, because I think where you are is a perfect place to be, because, you know, as a community, I think particularly in the Black community, there is a shame and a stigma around seeking help and needing help and having somebody tell you that something is wrong with you. I was looking at an article today or last night that I shared in the Black Women's Wellness Conference community page on Facebook from the Nigerian author Chimamanda Adichie, who spoke about suffering with depression and the challenge of, you know, going to see a professional and somebody labeling, you know, she called it this strangeness or this strange, you know, feeling that she had as depression, and the challenge and the struggle of having something that is so stigmatized. But if we don't have no problem going to see doctors. If we have we have diabetes, we go see a doctor. If we have, you know, something broken, we go see a doctor. If something is broken with you psychologically, emotionally, or emotionally, go talk to somebody.
And you know what else? I feel like we do our children a disservice.
We do.
If our children's arm is broken, we're going to take them to the doctor. If their heart is broken, we tell them to get over it. They have less, you know, coping capabilities than we do. Not saying that we have much more than they do, but, you know, they're still children. And so I think we just do our children such a disservice, because it's something that the family can really should, in my opinion, wrap their arms around with, and so everyone can walk into the good life. And so I wanted to bring this up. We have a couple minutes left, but they have this hashtag that is blowing up on social media. It is Me Too. Obviously, this is the month of October, which is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and it came into because of, I'm not even telling his name and all that, because of the guy in Hollywood who has just been, you know, yes, you know, he just, and so the hashtag Me Too, and so women are speaking up and saying Me Too. Think about all of these women all of these women, and not just women, men as well, who have had some type of sexual abuse, sexual advance, or something that has, has stuck with them and has really hurt them. And and if y'all listen to the show, y'all know a couple months ago, I shared my story. So I have to say me too. And it took me 20 years to say something. Mm-hmm. And so I had been in counseling for the divorce and everything else, to make sure I was a better parent, but I always took care of everyone else. I wasn't taking care of myself. So, even with, coming out and having the conversation a couple months ago, I still didn't even seek counseling until now. And I'm like, you know what? I really want to get to the root of these things, because moving into the next relationship, I don't want to deal with this. Not that I don't want to deal with it anymore, but I don't want this baggage or layers to come back to haunt me. I want to be a better person. I want to be my authentic self. I want to unlock my core and let the love shine through. And I'm ready to do it. And so we offer that to each and every one of you today. Dr. Wilborn?
Yeah, and me too.
Me too. Mm-hmm.
And me too. When things like that happen to us, they create wounds. Mm-hmm. And we know, just like any other kind of wound, physical wounds, psychological and emotional wounds, when they are not treated, they do not heal. They fester. And so if you are carrying a wound that's keeping you from loving yourself freely, that's keeping yourself from being able to accept yourself as you are, that's keeping yourself from being able to say you are enough, it is okay to get help, so that you can heal yourself and be free.
Be free.
Open your mind. That's what it's about.
And so there are listeners right out there right now who need your services. They are saying me too in their cars and at their jobs, listening, on their phone. They're walking in the park, listening to the podcast. They're like, me too, and they need your services. How can they reach you? 504-509-3995, 504-509-3995, or info@wilbornclinicalservices.com. Make sure you reach out. She is absolutely amazing. We only offer the good life right here, and Dr. Tammy Wilborn is that. Y'all, it is Relationship Tuesday. We're about to close out the show, but don't forget, Unlocking Your Core is every day this week. We're going to do it a little bit tomorrow. We're actually going to have the World Trade Center here. They have an event coming up that is going to unlock your ability to reach the world. Y'all thought I was playing right here on The Good Life. We are not playing. We're going to help you reach the world. We're going to unlock those opportunities at the core for each and every one of you. So open your mind to living differently in the world. It's Eileen and it's Tammy, and we are out. I want to thank each and every one of you for tuning in. It says paused. I don't know if it went through. Well, hopefully y'all got to see it. Thank you, Instagram, so much. And we're out. I don't know how long it was because it said pause. So I don't know how much Instagram got to see. So I guess I'll be saving it on my Facebook today. Ooh, look, I like the hair. Going backwards, right? Yeah, just the hop. Yeah, literally, my hair was like, you want me to get back to my core? My core is free. That's freedom. So thanks so much for tuning in. We appreciate each and every one of you. Good morning. Enjoy your short. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. We appreciate you, Lillian. And please share the show. That's what it's all about. It's about, just opening your mind and living differently in the world, and exercising that for everyone else. So thanks so much for tuning in. Go to the tglradioshow.com. I got to get my own website right. And share it with someone else. Thanks so much for tuning in, y'all. We're out.